It is 7:30 at night. Your dog is standing in the hallway, tail moving so fast it almost looks friendly. Your cat is frozen on the back of the couch, ears turned sideways, eyes locked on the dog like a tiny security camera with claws. And you are standing between them thinking, do they hate each other? Did I make a mistake bringing both of them into the same home? Most owners explain this in the simplest way possible. The dog wants to play. The cat is being dramatic. They just need to get used to each other. Sometimes that is true, but a lot of the time that explanation is missing the part that actually matters. Your cat and your dog are not living in the same house psychologically. They are living in two completely different maps. Your dog reads the home through movement, access, group activity, routines, and social feedback. Your cat reads the home through territory, height, escape routes, scent, and predictability. So when your dog trots toward the cat with loose excitement, the dog may be saying, hey, something fun is happening. But your cat may be hearing, a large, fast animal just entered my safe zone and blocked my exit. Same moment, two completely different meanings. And this is where many multi-type homes start to fall apart. Not because the animals are bad, not because the cat is mean, not because the dog is impossible, but because the owner is trying to solve a translation problem with more exposure. Let them work it out. That sentence has caused more household tension than almost anything else. Because cats and dogs do not always work it out. Sometimes they rehearse the same bad pattern until it becomes the normal pattern. The dog learns that rushing makes the cat run. The cat learns that the floor is dangerous. The owner learns to shout from the kitchen. And suddenly, the entire house has a script nobody likes. But here is the good news. You do not need your cat and dog to become best friends. That is not the goal. The first goal is something much more realistic, predictable peace. A cat who can move through the house without scanning for danger. A dog who can see the cat without launching into chase mode. A home where feeding, resting, play, and attention do not constantly turn into competition. In this video, I am going to give you a simple system I call the 3-zone peace map. It will help you see your home the way your cat sees it, the way your dog sees it, and the way both of them experience you. Because in a cat and dog household, you are not just the owner. You are the traffic controller. And if you do not design the traffic, the animals will. Let us start with the first zone, territory. This is the part dog people often underestimate. Dogs can be deeply attached to places, beds, couches, bowls, and people. But cats are built around territory in a much more intense way. For a cat, the home is not just where they live. It is their safety system. Every room has meaning. The windowsill is not just a windowsill. It is a lookout point. The top of the couch is not just furniture. It is a height advantage. The hallway is not just a hallway. It might be a narrow tunnel with no easy escape if the dog comes around the corner too fast. This is why a cat may seem fine one minute and furious the next. The trigger is not always the dog itself. Sometimes it is the dog entering the wrong part of the map too quickly. Your dog may think, I walked into the living room. Your cat may think, my exit route just disappeared. That difference matters. Animal welfare groups and behavior professionals often recommend slow introductions, safe spaces, and controlled access for exactly this reason. The goal is not to force the cat to be brave. The goal is to give the cat enough control that bravery becomes possible. So here is the first piece of the 3-zone peace map. Your cat needs at least one dog-free zone. Not the dog usually does not go there zone. A real zone. A bedroom with a baby gate. A laundry room with a cat door. A tall cat tree the dog cannot reach. A shelf route from one side of the room to the other. A feeding station off the floor. A litter box location where the cat will not be surprised by a dog nose at the entrance. If the cat has no guaranteed escape, the cat has no reason to relax. And here is the part many owners miss. A hiding cat is not always a calm cat. Sometimes hiding is recovery, but sometimes hiding is the only strategy left. If your cat spends most of the evening under the bed while the dog owns the floor, That is not peaceful coexistence. That is one animal disappearing so the other can be comfortable. Now look at the dog side. Your dog also needs structure. A mat, a bed, a crate if the dog is already crate comfortable. A place where settle actually means something. Not as punishment, as a job. Many dogs chase cats because the cat moving becomes the most interesting thing in the room. If the dog has no alternative behavior, the chase becomes the entertainment. So the first rule is simple. Do not introduce animals in open space and hope personality will solve the layout. Design the layout first. When the cat has vertical escape and the dog has a settle station, you're no longer asking two animals to improvise peace. You are giving each of them a role they can succeed at. The second framework focuses on resource distribution. This is where domestic environments can unexpectedly show behavioral fluctuations. The feline and canine members may maintain visual neutrality all morning, but secondary tension often emerges during nutritional periods. Near communal furniture or upon your return from work, secondary tension often emerges. This social dynamic is patterned. In a multi-species environment, the most critical element is not always dietary substance or kinetic items. Frequently, the primary resource is your presence, your social engagement, your physical proximity, and the spatial comfort beside you. The transitional entryways you pass through and the food preparation areas are also key resources. To a canine, close physical proximity is a standard social expression. To a feline, that same proximity can be experienced as spatial compression. To a canine, olfactory inspection of a communal dish is an informational inquiry. To a feline, it functions as an unauthorized extraction. This is why nutritional friction is a defining diagnostic element. It is the primary indicators. Resource preservation and situational pressure can manifest around dietary dishes, positive reinforcements. They can also manifest around resting platforms and human interaction. If behaviors present as structural vocalization, rigid physiological posture, spatial blocking, proactive displacement, or a canine pursuing a feline, this indicates a clear environmental management challenge rather than a personality variation. Such scenarios require systematic intervention, particularly when there are persistent behavioral misalignments, spatial safety considerations, or if younger individuals are sharing the domestic layout. For baseline behavioral friction, the initial strategy is purely logistical. Isolate high-incentive periods prior to addressing emotional patterns. Provide the feline's nutrition in an elevated or restricted sector. Offer long-lasting canine items in a designated zone where the feline will not inadvertently cross paths. Avoid dispensing rewards in narrow architectural bottlenecks where both animals may converge simultaneously. Prevent the canine from reinforcing the habit of intercepting feline nutrition, which creates defensive spatial guarding later. Additionally, monitor your own reinforcement loops. This mechanism is subtle. If a canine rapidly approaches a feline and the human responding immediately activates verbal, physical, or emotional energy, the canine processes this event as a massive delivery of attention. It is not corrective. It is simply reinforcement. And concurrently, the feline observes that hyperarousal dictates the environmental energy. Therefore, the secondary principle is ensure that stationary stability yields higher reinforcement than structural disorder. Acknowledge the canine when it observes the feline yet maintains a relaxed posture. Acknowledge the feline when it enters the shared environment and utilizes vertical structures instead of concealment. Utilize physical separation, structural barriers, and managed proximity during brief, structured intervals. Conclude the interaction before behavioral stability degrades. The optimal indicator of a successful multi-species household is not artificial affection. It is neutral coexistence. A canine observes the feline and redirects its gaze. A feline traverses the room without micro-freezing. Both animals occupy the same domestic space, maintaining structural boundaries. Without constant negotiation, this is not stagnation, but measurable progress. The third zone is the one owners almost never put on the map. You. Your animals are watching each other, but they are also watching you. Your dog watches your face, your voice, your posture, your speed. Your cat watches the same things, just with a very different style of judgment. If you tense up every time the dog looks at the cat, the room changes. If you yell the dog's name only when the cat appears, the cat becomes a predictor of conflict. If you scoop up the cat in panic every time the dog enters, your cat may learn that the dog entering is always an emergency. Your reaction becomes part of the environment. This does not mean you should ignore real risk. Safety comes first. If the dog is stiff, stalking, lunging, grabbing, or the cat is trapped, separate them calmly and get help from a qualified professional if needed. But in everyday tension, your job is to become boring in the best possible way. Calm voice, slow movement, clear gaits, predictable routines, short practice sessions. No dramatic speeches to animals who do not understand the speech but absolutely understand the energy. Here is the full 3-zone peace map. Zone 1, territory. Your cat needs dog-free escape routes and vertical safety. Your dog needs a real settle station and a job that is not follow the cat. Zone 2, resources. Separate food, treats, toys, resting spots, and high excitement moments before they become arguments. Make calm choices more rewarding than chaotic ones. Zone 3, you. Your tone, timing, attention, and routines are signals. If you become predictable, the home becomes easier to read. And here's the truth most owners need to hear. Your cat and dog do not have to love each other for your home to feel peaceful. They need to understand the rules of the house. They need enough space to choose calm. They need you to stop waiting for friendship and start building trust in small, repeatable moments. That might look like a dog lying on a mat while the cat crosses the room. It might look like a cat eating on a shelf while the dog relaxes behind a gate. It might look like 2 animals sleeping 10 feet apart and nobody needing to supervise every breath. That is not failure. That is the foundation. Because in a mixed cat and dog home, peace usually does not arrive as one big magical friendship moment. It arrives as 100 tiny non-events. The chase that did not happen. The bowl that was not stolen. The hallway that stayed open. The owner who stayed calm. And one day, you realize the house is quieter. Not because your cat became a dog, not because your dog became a cat, but because you finally stopped asking them to speak the same language. You built a home where both languages make sense. If you want to make this easier, create your own 3-zone peace map today. Write down 1 safe cat route, 1 dog settle station, 1 resource conflict, and 1 owner habit you can change this week. Start there. Small changes are how multi-pet homes become peaceful. And if this helped you see your cat and dog differently, subscribe for more calm, practical behavior breakdowns for homes that love both.